Hello everyone, today we're going to check out MoYu's newest 4x4, the AoSu WRM. Before we get into the puzzle real quick, we have a Cubicle 8-year anniversary logo, complimentary with the cube. This box is actually very small compared to, their 3x3 boxes. Lifting the lid, we have the puzzle, and then next to the puzzle we have a box of accessories. So the accessories box has less in it than a 3x3 box because there's no spring compression system. But we do have the typical stuff, so we have Steve Cho's MoYu card, a pamphlet, and a card with the designer. We have some extra magnets, and a screwdriver. Alright, so the main thing you'll notice about the AoSu WRM right out of the box is the size. This is like a mini 4x4 because MoYu's previous 4x4, the AoSu GTS2M, this was 62mm, and the Valk was 60mm, and for comparison, this is a 59mm 4x4. You can see it's even smaller than the Valk. So let's go ahead and do first turns. I'm pleasantly surprised. It actually feels a lot more like the AoSu than I expected it to. I don't know why, I just thought it would be like a different puzzle. It doesn't quite feel like a mini AoSu, but it's similar. It still retains that classic MoYu 4x4 feel. It's kind of on the blockier side, and it has kind of loud turning. But if you like MoYu 4x4s, this one is just a very similar feeling to that. Inner layers are a bit rough out of the box. I'm sure they'll break in though. Yeah, they're just kind of slow on their own. One thing I'm noticing is that the magnets are very strong, especially on these inner layers. Very strong on the inner layers, and still fairly strong on the outer layers. That almost sounds like a loose magnet. Huh. Well, either way, I don't think the magnets are going to be too big of a deal. They're probably around the same as the AoSu GTS2M. But as far as the speed goes, it's very fast out of the box. I'd probably actually want to slow it down a little bit because the outer layers are very fast, and when I'm doing a double flick, it's overshooting a tiny bit when I'm doing double flicks. So I would probably want to slow it down a bit with some lube. And as far as the inner layers go, yeah, I don't know. The inner layers have those strong magnets, so the inner layer double flicks aren't too bad. But the outer layers definitely need to be slowed down a bit. It's hard for me to make a direct comparison between the GTS2M and the WRM straight out of the box, just because my GTS2M is angstrom setup and this one is just stock. But that said, the WRM still retains a lot of the feelings that the AoSu GTS2M had. It's blocky, it's fast, but it's still moderately controllable out of the box. And if you like the GTS2M but just wished it was smaller, this is that cube. It's very similar in feeling, and it's very small. I thought I would really notice a big difference going from 62mm down to 59. But the feeling is actually very easy to adapt to. But now after playing with this WRM for a while, it's a lot more comfortable in my hands, size-wise, than the AoSu, even though the AoSu does turn a lot better since it has the angstrom setup. But with the proper setup, I might actually choose to use the WRM over the GTS2M purely because of the size. One thing I'm noticing now that I'm putting them side by side is that the shades are actually very different on this cube. The white and yellow look basically the same, but the green is a lot darker on the newer one, and the red is actually lighter. That's strange. The blue looks about the exact same, and the orange looks maybe a tiny bit brighter on the WR, but not much brighter. So the noticeable differences here are the green and reds. The red is lighter, and the green is darker. Not sure if that really makes a difference, but I mean the contrast is still good no matter what. Real quick, we gotta address the name. It's called the WRM. The 3x3 that they made called the Weilong WR was called the Weilong WR because it was a Weilong GTS3 without ridges. This 4x4 never had ridges, but it's still called the WR. I think what MoYu had done was they had planned to make a 2x2 and a 4x4 with ridges and canceled the projects, and so now they're left with a WR. Should they've named it that? I don't think so, but hey, makes it consistent with their 3x3 brand. So in that sense, I guess it's a fine name. But overall, I think this cube is very promising. It's actually breaking in very nicely as I'm turning it now. The inner layers have actually started to speed up a tiny bit, probably just because of me turning it. Still a bit stiff on these inner layer turns when I'm just trying to do the inner layer here. But it's loosening up, and I think I'll end up loosening the tensions a little bit afterwards too. But either way, I'm fairly impressed with this cube, and it probably will be my main once I set it up. So I'd like to give a huge thank you to TheCubicle for sending me this new MoYu 4x4 to test out. If you'd like to buy it, there's a link in the description below, so you can buy it from their store. So that's about all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.